Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Grab yourself a cup of tea and let's talk some boxing. Now there are a few things we can talk about this morning, so let's get into it. Let's talk about this Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3 reported undercard. Now apparently a press conference will happen next Tuesday to announce their July 24th fight, and apparently they are putting together an all heavyweight show. This is not confirmed just yet, just reported, but it is likely to include Frank Sanchez versus Agagba, Robert Helenius versus Adam Kownacki, the rematch, which is where obviously Helenius upset the odds in some ways, I guess, to beat Kownacki. I always thought he would, but still, I guess in some ways Kownacki was the favourite. So the rematch for that one, and then there is Jared Anderson against a to be confirmed opponent. So that's not confirmed just yet who he will be facing, or if he's even on the card, but it is being reported that he will be. Now, they are putting together this big heavyweight showdown, and obviously at the head of it will be Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3. Now, in my opinion, this needs a very, very strong undercard, and that's not just down to the fight itself not being highly intriguing anymore. That's down to the situation between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua not happening, because how can they go from a big undisputed fight between those two to see who is number one, then just go to Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3, a fight that very few now find intriguing or interesting. So what do they have to do? They have to put on a kick-ass undercard, and they seem to know that, and that is why I believe they are looking to do an all-heavyweight show. And I'm going to be honest, Frank Sanchez versus Agagba, interesting fight. Robert Helenius versus Adam Kownacki, another interesting fight. Jared Anderson being on the card as well. He's a very exciting young talent coming through in the heavyweight division. So they are doing the right thing with the undercard, and it's a move that I believe they have to make. I believe because of what happened with Undisputed, the undercard needs to be even stronger than this, and the reason why is they managed to get so many people intrigued, buying into the idea of Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. Then, when it was so close, all of a sudden it was taken away. So, they've had all of those eyes on Tyson Fury. Now, he's going into Deontay Wilder 3, and the intrigue is never going to be there for Wilder 3 as opposed to an undisputed Anthony Joshua fight. So the only way to try and maintain some of that buzz is to put on an undercard like this so that fans will say, hang on a minute, that's kind of interesting. I mean, it might not make you want to buy the fight, but still, it's going to make you think about it instead of thinking, Wilder Fury 3, why do we need to watch that again? Why do we need to see it? Why do we need to pay a pay-per-view to watch it once again? Why not just watch the highlights when they come up on YouTube a few days later? So that is the reason why they need a strong undercard for this Fury Wilder 3 fight. Otherwise, it's a very hard sell for boxing fans, especially fans who wanted to see Tyson Fury fight for Undisputed against AJ. Now, there is more news that we can talk about, and it is regarding Joe Joyce. Now, apparently Joe Joyce will defend his European heavyweight title next. That is what the EBU have confirmed. And Frank Warren previously named July 24th or 31st as possible dates and said that Carlos Takam and Tony Yoka are potential opponents. Now, Tony Yoka is a very interesting fight because obviously they had the final at the 2016 Olympics in the heavyweight division, and Joe Joyce came up short and got silver, whereas Tony Yoka got gold. So that could be an interesting dynamic between those two. Carlos Takam isn't the same fighter he once was, but I mean, he would represent some kind of challenge, I guess, for Joe Joyce, but again, I don't think he's of the level of someone like Joe Joyce, or at least is going to gain Joe Joyce anything by beating. So I would say that I would rather see him fight Tony Yoka, especially given they have that dynamic. I think it would be a big fight, an interesting one as well. Tony Yoka is coming through the heavyweight division quite quickly, although he doesn't seem to be getting all that much recognition for what he is doing. He's never really one we talk about coming through who could potentially challenge Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte, Andy Ruiz. We don't really talk about him in that light. I mean, I know he is still a genuine novice in the pro game, but still, when you have fighters like that coming through, they often do get touted for potential fights with the top guys in a couple of years' time. That doesn't seem to be happening with Tony Yoka, so perhaps he does need a big fight like this to put himself on the map, especially when it comes to proving he is some threat to those guys at the top. So this could be a good fight for Tony Yoka. It will also be a great fight for Joe Joyce. So everybody wins, except for who loses on the night, but still, it would be a great matchup for both of them to be in. And another tough fight for Joe Joyce, but he has set the precedent for doing that, and it will only be good for him if he continues to take these kind of challenges and keeps coming out on top. Wait till he gets to the top, and that will serve him well as experience going in for a world title opportunity. He was hoping for that next against Alexander Usyk, but that will no longer happen, so he does move on, and it's either Carlos Takam or Tony Yoka. Who would you prefer to see Joe Joyce fighting next? Guys, anyway, pick your favourite subject and leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Also leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks guys.